Turning now to Yemen, the country's civil war has created the world's worst ongoing humanitarian crisis. Now, making matters even worse is the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of deadly landmines hiding below the surface.
I-24 News correspondent Munira Al-Hamoud explains how the United States is trying to help.
The ongoing conflict in Yemen between the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels and the Yemeni government backed by Saudi Arabia and the UAE has plagued the country with famine, cholera, and instability. As hundreds of Yemenis continue to die every day, the United States is focused on making sure that the estimated 80% of Yemenis experiencing food insecurity get relief. But one major obstacle is landmines planted all over Yemen. They not only kill civilians, but also prevent them from cultivating their fields, generating sources of income, and feeding their families. The Red Sea mills sit on the outskirts of ودعم and has served as one of the UN World Food Programme primary wheat storage and processing facilities. Access was blocked by the Houthis until March.
The Red Sea mills processed approximately 25% of all of the wheat that the World Food Programme was bringing into Yemen. This is a significant amount of food aid in a country we talked about earlier. The vast majority of the population is food insecure right now. So once the WFP was forced to withdraw all of their personnel, massive amounts of wheat were stranded at the Red Sea mills.
Sol Black is in charge of the demining program for Yemen, Iraq, and Lebanon. His team helps the Yemen Executive Mine Action Center, or YEMAC, who has successfully removed over 300,000 landmines. Because demining is usually done several years after the end of a conflict, Yemen's security challenge is a unique obstacle to demining teams who are caught between remnants of older conflicts and the civil war. The victims of these cheap yet sophisticated Iranian-made IEDs are more often civilians than foreign forces.
Iran is also helping the Houthis to produce improvised explosive devices that are advanced. They're camouflaged in some cases to look like rocks, and some of them have what we call a passive infrared sensor. So it's a motion detector. Unfortunately, the motion detector can't tell the difference between a military vehicle or a farmer or a child on his way to school.
Landmines have been found in schools, homes, roads, hospitals, farmlands, and wells. Yemeni officials said the country had been the site of the largest mine-laying operation since the end of the Second World War.
There were several minefields that ran through them, but then the Houthis had also intentionally booby-trapped and mined parts of the mill because they wanted to deny people access to the mill itself. These deminers, starting in March, cleared over 1,200 landmines and IEDs from the mill and the surrounding area.
After clearing all the mines, the World Food Programme is now in the final stage of treating the wheat and hope to resume operations there very soon to feed the hungry population. Munira Al-Hamoud, I-24 News, Washington.